Hello. To our students, parents, family members, we wanted to engage with you and created a short video to give you some insight into some pertinent campus things that are taking place on campus. I have with me some of our awesome administrators and campus leaders. So we have Mr. Law, who's one of our assistant principals, Mr. Melendez, one of our awesome assistant principals, Ms. King, our early college coordinator, Ms. Gratton, our awesome academy director, Ms. Sells, another awesome assistant principal, and then our awesome science department leader and student council sponsor, Mr. Dallas. And I'm Mr. Bailey, the principal of LBJ College High School. So we want to talk to you about a few things that are extremely important, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first, we want to talk to you about graduation and the amount of credits that students need. And so this video is made for parents and students accordingly, and for our staff. And so when we think about credits, we want to make sure that our students are fully aware of the amount of credits that they need to graduate. And to graduate on a distinguished plan, you need 26 credits. We like to focus on what we call the 4x4, 4 credits in the 4 core areas. So 4 in English, 4 in science, 4 in mathematics, and 4 in social studies. And then students are able to earn 2 credits in languages other than English. They're also able to earn their PE credit, half a credit for health, a fine arts credit, and then we have about 6.5 credits for electives, which includes AVID, our CTE courses, and additional electives, as students also focus on their endorsements and certifications. Now, as we talk about credits to graduate, it is also important that we talk about the STAAR EOC exams. Our 9th graders have to complete during the 9th grade year English 1, biology, and Algebra 1 EOC. And then students take the English 2 STAAR exam their sophomore year, and then US history their 11th grade year. If a student did not pass any one of these exams, they have an opportunity to take these exams again starting in December 2020. So December 2020, 8th through 11th, any student who did not pass a previous STAAR exam will be taking these state exams. And to be quite honest with you, we don't have a lot of time to prepare. It's already October 23rd. So we are acting with urgency. We want to make sure that our students are fully informed if they have to take this test in December, and our teachers and staff are working with them accordingly to prepare for success. Now, I also want to talk about academics and in terms of credits. It's important that our students pass their classes. We understand the first 6 weeks was challenging, for students who were on campus learning and remote. The first 6 weeks was a challenge due to the pandemic and the circumstance. So with that, we are allowing our students to recover credit up until October 30th for the first 6 weeks, meaning any student who did not pass a class for the first 6 weeks are able to go back, resubmit assignments to gain credit for that class up until the 30th. Our teachers are working and being flexible with our students as we ensure that our students are able to have a high passing rate as they start building on their GPA. But also we have the second 6 weeks progress report, and those grades are due on October 30th. So students, it's important that you're not trying to make up several 6 weeks throughout the entire year. That's really, really stressful. So I don't want a student trying to make up first 6 week grades, second 6 weeks, third 6 weeks, fourth 6 weeks. That's not good business. And I don't want any of our students under that type of pressure. So what I'm asking students to please make sure you follow with your teachers, get the assignments completed for the first 6 weeks if you failed the class, so you can recover credit, and that way you remain on track for the second 6 weeks progress report, and then you have 3 more weeks before that report card is due. Here's a transcript. I want to make sure we put emphasis as we talk about transcripts and we talk about passing your classes and credits. So what takes place is, students, what you complete goes inside the grade book. The teacher inputs the grade. That grade goes on your transcript. This transcript will follow you from your high school career all the way up until post-secondary after you graduate. Here's a transcript of a student who struggled some. The student made some failing grades in some of their earlier high school years, but they were still able to recover those grades, pass their classes, and graduate on a distinguished level. I could have chosen a transcript where a student has straight A's, but I want students to understand that The assignments that you are supposed to complete per your teachers and what goes into that grade book definitely matters. So I want to make sure students, you're taking it extremely serious when it comes to your academics. Transcripts for the fall semester will go out in December, and then you'll get your completed transcript for the school year at the end of the spring semester. Now I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Melendez to talk about attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Hello, parents and students. And just to establish, academics goes hand in hand with attendance. If your student attends Zoom classes, does the coursework in Blend or any additional assignments the teacher has, their attendance will be leveled at a high level. And right now what we're talking about is that we don't want the students to go below 90% attendance rate, because if they do, then we're looking at loss of credit. If students lose the loss of credit, then the students have to recover that, which in essence would add more time to their academics. The other concern that we have is that we don't want to be looking at having students fall into the truancy policy, because what that'll do is, in some cases, it might unmotivate the students. So please, parents, encourage your students to attend the Zoom classes. Communicate with their teachers if they're having any kind of issues. It's very important that they have that open communication with them. And the most important part is to let the students know if they need anything additional from us, from counselors, to have the confidence to communicate that to us. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, sir. Now I'm gonna turn over to Ms. Gratton, our Academy Director, to talk more about academics and TSI.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Mr. Bailey. I appreciate it. And Mr. Melendez, those really wise words about attendance, because academic success, that's where it starts, right? We got to be there. And so parents and students, Ms. King and I are going to talk a little bit more deeper and specifically about academics. And so just to bring to your remembrance, students, I don't know if you remember this house meeting we had a few weeks ago, right before we did back to school night. And I asked you a question. The question that I asked you was, are you interested in being successful, or are you committed to being successful? And y'all, simply the way that that looks in terms of how we exemplify that in our Jaguar Strong theme of this year is certainly, number one, attendance, but number two, your academics, the ways in which you do whatever it takes to be successful. You do whatever it takes, especially when you don't feel like it, right? I mean, shoot, come on, we're learning. Take a look at the left side of the screen. We're learning like this. Most of us, our computers or our Chromebook are on our bed or near our bed, where the temptation to go to sleep, take a nap, hang out in the kitchen, maybe go outside, maybe watch a movie or play a game. Those temptations are so strong. You can easily just turn on your Zoom, let the teacher talk away and not be engaged. That temptation is strong, y'all. So in those times when it's especially easy or especially gravitating to not necessarily give your 100% best, we're saying that you got to dig deep. Jaguar Strong is about digging deep and doing what you got to do, even and especially when you don't feel like it. That's what it means, and that's what it looks like to be committed to your success. Part of the other way in which it looks like to be committed to yourself, committed to your success as a Jaguar is to make sure you know the upcoming dates coming up. Mr. Bailey just shared them. Check this out on the right-hand side of my screen. We already finished our first 6 weeks. We're on progress report for our second 6 weeks. Check that out. October 23rd, that's today. And the end of the second 6 weeks is happening November the 6th. Y'all, this is happening super fast, okay? And I'm not telling you that to put anxiety inside of you, but I am telling you that to put some good stress inside of you, that it is time. If you haven't been as committed as you should be, today is the day. Don't wait one more day. Today is the day to recommit yourself to your success, to being Jaguar Strong and exemplifying it in every single thing that you do in every single class. Let me take you to one more thing, okay? This whole notion of being committed to your success is also going to show itself in what's called a TSI, the Texas Success Initiative. Ms. King will talk about it in detail in just 1 second, but let me just reach out to the freshmen that are sitting out there that you're starting high school in the middle of a pandemic. Pretty historic. Oh, and let's not forget an election year. So this is historic for our freshmen, y'all, especially for you. So just so you know, freshmen, those of you in 9th grade and parents, this is helpful for you to know as well. Next week during their world geography classes, these 9th graders are already going to be they're going to start and finish their TSI assessment. This is so critical for our freshmen to make sure that one way that they exemplify that commitment to their success and getting themselves closer to their college and career goals is by taking this TSI exam. They're doing it next week in a class, which is so fantastic. Our 10th and our 11th graders, their dates are coming soon, and our 12th graders, we're going to give them a little bit of time to breathe after they take finals and EOCs if they have them. Give us some time to breathe. And we come back in January, man, we're going to take off with TSI for our seniors at that particular time. So with that said, y'all parents, help us out. You know those ways in which you remember when your baby, your high school baby was just little and they were going to elementary school and you were right there with them. And sometimes as they get older, it feels like, you know, we can kind of pull back a little bit. Parents, we are absolutely encouraging you and begging you to be right alongside, especially high school this year in the middle of a pandemic, those same ways in which we were so close to our little ones in elementary to be just as close to our larger ones in high school, because we need you. There's no way that we can be successful without you. So with that said, Ms. King, I'm going to pass the ball to you to give us a little bit more detail about what TSI is and why we have to take it.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you virtually. So what is the TSI? In a nutshell, it's a series of tests. It's a reading test, a writing test, and a math test. And it basically checks the college readiness of our students. So it's critically important for 3 really good whys. Let me go through them. The first why of the TSI is because I run the early college program here at LBJ. And what that is the first 2 years of any degree. So students, once they pass the TSI, they can begin taking college classes at ACC for free. Everything is free, totally covered by us. And it's the first years of any major, so it's very flexible. If a student doesn't know what they want to major in when they go to college, this is the perfect program for them. That's number 1 why. And that's the program that I run. Number 2 why is a program run by Ms. Courtney Jackson, who's amazing. It's called the P-Tech program. This program is a partnership between us, ACC, and Ascension Seton. And this is for students who are really, really interested in having a career in the health sciences. It's very specialized. There's a lot of partnership going on. It's just really, really, if you're a student or you wants to major in health science, become a doctor, a nurse, this is the program for you. The third important why is that when you go to college, you have to take the TSI in orientation, and they charge you. You have to pay for it. Here, if you do it here while you're in LBJ, it's free. You can retake what you haven't passed, but once you pass them all, you're ready to go. Never have to worry about it again. Once you graduate, I send you your TSI scores, you give them to your college, and you're good to go. Those are the 3 whys. And my email address is down there at the bottom of the slide. Please screenshot it. If you have any additional questions about any of this, please email me and I'll write you back right away. Thank you so much, Ms. Gratton.
Thank you, Ms. King and Ms. Gratton, for those details, reinforcement of academics and TSI. Ms. Gratton, now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Law to talk to us about the next phase of the school year, phase 3, as we continue on-campus learning and remote learning.
Hello, everyone. On November 3rd, we will be transitioning to following a regular bell schedule. And for those students whose families have selected in-person learning, you will be following your class schedule. So before you arrive, make sure that you take a look at your schedule, students, and know what periods, what classes you have each period, and the room number. And the room numbers will be labeled on each door, so especially for our freshmen who are new to the campus, will be able to easily find their classes. And upon arrival, students will need to present the green check from the COVID-19 app that Austin ISD has provided. So you can download that app from your app store on your Android and your iPhone app stores. And once you download the Austin ISD app, at the top of that app, when you open it, you will see COVID-19 app. You touch that button and it will open up the questions that you will need to answer. So I want to let you know, be very careful, be careful answering the questions. Make sure you read them carefully, because when you answer yes to one of the questions, even accidentally, we will get a notification. And when you arrive to campus, we will have to take you through a series of questions in our protocol to make sure that you are healthy and able to come into the building. Also, everyone who shows up will get a temperature check before being allowed to enter the building. And this is just to make sure that we all stay healthy and stay safe during this pandemic. Everyone, staff, students, and visitors included, will be required to wear a mask at all times unless you are actively eating or drinking. and social distancing will be in effect where feasible. And we say where feasible, and because we will potentially have more students on campus, which in some instances, we will not be able to have the 6 feet, but we will social distance as much as possible and be sure to wear the mask, as I've stated before, at all times. So as far as transitions in classes, our bells will be turned on, and at 8:10, students will report to their first block class with their scheduled teacher. The hallways will be two-way traffic, again with social distancing where feasible. Students will follow their regular schedule for each block, and instruction in the classroom will be a simultaneous teaching model, which means that because we still have students whose families have chosen for them to remain remote at home learning, they will be logged in to Blend and to their Zoom sessions with their teacher, along with those students in the classroom, and you'll all be going through those lessons together with the teacher. It's just that those students in person will be there to ask those questions, as well as students who remain at home can also ask questions. We will still also follow the asynchronous and synchronous model of instruction. Hand sanitizer and wipes will also be available in every classroom for students and staff to use regularly. And students, please be prepared to assist your teachers in wiping down your areas with those wipes and sanitizing your hands as often as possible. And again, social distancing practices will be encouraged where feasible. As far as advisory, we have been having advisory every day. However, beginning November 2nd, advisory will only be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays after the first block class from 9:45 a.m. until 10:35 a.m. However, the first week that we're back on November 2nd, we will not have advisory during that week while we get acclimated to this new transition. But on the second week of November, on November 10th, Tuesday and Wednesday, November 11th, we will have our advisory as usual, and each week after that. Breakfast and lunch will be available in the cafeteria. I must let you know, students, including seniors, will not be allowed to leave campus during lunchtime. And this is a district policy that was changed at the beginning of the school year because of the pandemic. And we want to make sure that we all stay healthy and safe while we're here on campus. You may eat your lunch either in the cafeteria, on the cafeteria patio, or in the front of the school. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Law, for those details. And now we're going to have Ms. Sells to share with our parents a survey that we have in regard to the phase 3 details that Mr. Law just went over.
Hello, families. Good afternoon. As we transition into our November 2nd phase 3 reopening, earlier this week, we sent home an email, we being LBJ, sent home an email about phase 3 reopening. We ask that you go over this survey with your students in detail and speak to them about all the precautions and safety protocols that will be in place upon returning to school. We ask that to help us prepare, that you and your student go through the survey together. Let us know whether you're choosing remote off-campus learning, which is we've been calling virtual learning, or if you're choosing to do on-campus learning, which is also called face-to-face, starting on November 2nd. This survey also includes an acknowledgement section. So we ask that you, again, please go over this section with your student and check all of the boxes if you agree and submit that to us. The survey is open and will remain open until October 27th for us to evaluate as a campus, and then we will know next steps for logistics and preparing for you guys on November 2nd. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you.
Thank you, Ms. Sells, for those details. And again, parents, we definitely need your help in completing the surveys as we practically plan for all of our students, remote and on campus. So we just talked about a lot of business important things, but we still want to have fun. We still have a lot of school spirit, and we want school to be enjoyable as much as possible. So I have Mr. Dellis, who's going to represent Student Council to talk about Homecoming 2020 Spirit Week.
Homecoming, homecoming, homecoming. So next week is homecoming game on Friday. So we've come up with a homecoming spirit week for students to dress up and show themselves on the videos on Zoom, or if they're here at campus for the 5 different spirit days. So I'm going to start with the Spirit Week and Homecoming video that was created by Ms. Brancaccio, our video tech teacher. So we're going to watch that first. All right, so homecoming week, we've got Spirit Week with the days that are behind me on my virtual background. We're starting with Monday to promote breast cancer awareness. We're doing pink out. Everybody's gonna dress in pink. Tuesday, we got throwback to the 80s and 90s day here, dress in your best 80s and 90s gear. Behind me, we have Character Day on the 28th, on Wednesday. Dress up as your favorite character. On Thursday, we're doing tie-dye, get your 70s outfits in gear. And then Friday, because we have the football game that night, we're gonna all get all of our Jaguar gear on for LBJ Spirit Day. Football game is at Nelson at 7:30 that night against Burnett. We hope to see everybody there. We will also be announcing King and Queen at halftime, and the underclassmen prom court will be announced in the morning in some assemblies for the various grade levels. The voting will start on Monday. Nominations are still running until Sunday, and nominations should be in your blend at this moment if you want to nominate friends or yourself for any of the different prom court levels. So homecoming, 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 2020, here we come.
Thank you, Mr. Dallas. So parents, students, even staff members who are watching this video, that concludes our informational video as we ensure we keep safety a priority, focus on academics, and making sure that our students are thriving and full of Jaguar Strong. Have a great weekend, and we're super excited to see our seniors who start on campus next week for those families who chose on-campus learning. All right, take care, stay blessed, Jaguar Strong.